One single Instagram post brought in over $3,000, and it wasn't a pitch, a funnel, or a viral reel. It was a story. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly why it worked and how you can do the same. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Hannah. I help coaches and done-for-you service providers create content that reflects the real work that they do through my storytelling sales framework. If you're showing up online but not getting sales, this video is going to shift the way that you think about content forever, especially content intended to sell your offers, because a lot of times we can feel icky and hung up about it, and this is going to take the ick out of it. It's going to take the scripting out of it. It's going to make sales flow and feel really easy. So let's get into the story, right? I opened this video saying one single Instagram post brought in over $3,000. And let's talk about how this is possible for me. I had a post that told a true, simple story about a client that I helped. What I did was I broke down what they were struggling with, what shifted, and how I helped them get there. There was no hard sell. There was no click the link in the bio. There wasn't some weird, tricky CTA. It was just me breaking down the client interaction I had with them. And it was the next day, right? I had a client the day before in a VIP day package with me. I went on my Instagram and told the story and showed up because I was so excited the progress they were making. And that was it. Put my phone down for the rest of the day because I have a habit of, once I'm done with work, I leave my phone out of the room so I'm not tempted to check it. And I come back and I had not only multiple inquiries, but one of those inquiries turned into a $3,000 client. Why? Because that story built trust fast. That story stood out. That story differentiated me from other people who were saying very similar things. My audience didn't just hear what I did. I didn't just spew as much education at them as possible so that they understood that I was the expert. They felt it. I built an emotional connection with them. And I was showing them, not telling them, what I do. So let's break down why this worked. Number one, it was incredibly specific, right? I didn't just write a post about 3 ways that you can sign more clients. That's so vague, right? Or 3 ways to hit your first 10K. That kind of content is super surface level. And I knew that if I wanted to call in a high ticket client, someone who's going to pay me thousands for my work, that I had to speak directly to them. I had to not only speak directly to them, but I had to speak to them in a way that's going to make them go, whoa, this is me. She's speaking to me. How does she know this about me? So I wasn't vague, helping women find their confidence. I could have been showing a camera, shining a camera on the client interaction that I had. I was like, this is the client that I was working with. Here's her problem. Here's how I led her through it. Here's the result that she got in X amount of time frame. 2, it was super emotional. I didn't just say, first we did this, then we did this, then we did this. I talked about how this client felt coming into the relationship with me. So she was feeling stressed. Felt like she'd tried everything. She had worked with other coaches in the past who told her X, Y, and Z. And she had some doubts that I could get her results. And so I talked about that before she came into my world. I talked about what we talked about during the VIP day. I talked about some doubts that she had during that. Even though I said, I think you should be doing this instead, that's going to help you way more. It's going to make you more specific. She still felt well, what if it doesn't work? What if these self-doubt things that come up? And those little touch points of feelings helped connect me to the person who was on the fence working with me, who ended up buying my offer, because they were having those thoughts too. So it wasn't just a video testimonial that they were watching. It wasn't just a quote with 5 stars. It wasn't just a screenshot. I was actually telling them the story of the client transformation, and it had an outward focus. So I wasn't just saying my client so-and-so did XYZ. I was saying my client did XYZ. Here's how we did it. And here's how you can do it too. That was really, really, really important part of that, is putting them in my client's shoes. Number 3, it had a quiet CTA. So I didn't pitch. I didn't say click the link in my bio. I didn't say, Like I didn't have a CTA at the end. I didn't say comment sales for the strategy. I said something along the lines of, if this sounds like you, I'd love to help you do the same. And that really invited people in, honestly, because so many people saw themselves in the shoes of my client that I helped get results that they were like, oh, yes, this does sound like me. Tell me more. Also, what I did, little bonus, this isn't in my notes, but I didn't just have one offer that I was directing people to. When people said that they were interested in learning more about working with me, I actually took the time to chat with them and see what point they were in and how I can actually help them. So there were some people that I directed to my content prompts, 7 days of story, which is only a $22 offer. There were some people that I directed to my one-on-one because I thought they'd be a good fit for one-on-one. And then most of the people I directed to the Story Selling Accelerator, which is my main signature program. And that was where the $3,000 sale came from. Sometimes people have a CTA and then they only sell one offer, and that is really going to trip them up as well, because it screams inauthentic if you're telling every single person the exact same thing that comes into your DMs, because every single person that comes into your DMs is likely at a different stage, different spot. They have different feelings, they have different emotions. And if you take one thing from this video, is that we need to be connecting with each of our potential clients, each person in our audience, on an emotional level. So if you start trying to talk to everyone, you're going to lose everyone. Okay. So how can you replicate this? Here's what I want you to try. I want you to pick one moment, just one. Like I'm talking a 1-hour call. If you have calls with your clients, don't talk about the entire call, because you know how much work you can get done on a 1-hour call. I want you to take a 5-minute segment, a 5 to 10 minute segment from that. And talk about like what question your client came in with. How did you answer it? How did you lead them through it? What feelings were they having? What doubts came up? Like, was there something that you did specifically that kind of like other coaches or other done for you service providers might not have said? Like, I know when I was a social media manager, I had a client come to me and say, hey, this is the content I want you to post for the week. And I was like, look, this content's not going to get you the results you wanted. And that's not what they hired me for, but they valued my honesty. And so I could have used that as a storytelling piece of content that's going to sell more of my done for you services, right? So it doesn't matter if you're a coach or not, like you have specific instances from the clients that you work with, and I want you to pull one of those specific instances and use that as a before and after story. And you can also even use your own story. So if you haven't worked with any clients before, but you obviously are embodied in the work that you do, otherwise you wouldn't be starting this business, I want you to tell your own story of like, how were you before? How did you lead yourself through it? What feelings came up during it? And what was the end result? Share what you were thinking, share what they were feeling, what you were doing, and talk about that shift. Really highlight the shift that they went through. And then just invite people to reach out if it resonated with them. If you want to help, writing posts like this is literally the work that I do. And it's more nuanced than just slapping on a CTA at the end of your carousel post that no one is going to read. So if you want to help writing posts like this, the kind that actually sells your work without selling your soul and making you feel like an icky car salesman, I have created a really detailed content resource called 7 Days of Story, where I actually map out 7 days of in feed posts and your Instagram stories posts that you can use to sell your offers. These are not just plug and play content prompts where I give you the hook and then you just fill in the blanks, because that's going to make you sound like every single other person on the internet. These are some journal prompts that are going to get you to think deeper about the stories that you have experienced in every single day working with clients, just going about your life and your own business. These prompts are going to help you pull these stories out and use them in your content. I also suggest hooks, and I suggest how to structure the body of your content so that you can actually see results and make content creation easier. So you can grab those below, or you can send me a DM on Instagram saying story, and I'll send it right to your inbox. But if you're loving these breakdowns, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you give a little comment, because I've got more coming your way.